Who do you think's going to win the player of the tournament in this World Cup? Because to me, there's four clear favourites to win the World Cup player of the tournament, and they're quite standout so far. You couldn't ask for a better start to the World Cup than they have had. I'm going to tell you out of those four players, my least favourite to my most favourite. And in fourth place, it's going to be Erling Haaland. And let me tell you something, if he played for a better footballing nation, he'd be much higher up on my list. With him scoring already four goals in two games. That's just one short of Cristiano Ronaldo's total World Cup goal tally without penalties. And by the way, when I say Norway aren't a huge footballing nation, that is by no means me saying they're a bad footballing nation, because they've got a fantastic squad. And for a lot of people, they are the underdogs, and they could go quite far in this competition. Now, of course, things can change. There's still one more game to be played in that group, but as things stand, they'll qualify and they'll play Ivory Coast in the first round of knockout stages, the round of 32. If they then beat them, they'll most likely play a Brazil. If they beat Brazil, which I wouldn't be shocked at, I think for a lot of people, they might be putting bets on Norway to beat Brazil, to shock Brazil, because Norway are a fantastic unit. Brazil don't look like a unit. And then all of a sudden, they're in a quarter final, and that's 5 games played for Erling Haaland. How many goals in 5 games do you think he could get? 6, 7, 8? He's already got 4. However, because he's playing for Norway compared to other nations, which these other footballers, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, I can't put him any higher than fourth, just because I don't think Norway are going to get much further than the quarter final at the very best. And that would be some achievement for Norway in itself. In third place, for me, my favourite player to win the World Cup player of the tournament, and I hope it's him, he's playing tonight, it's Harry Kane. He's already scored 2, a penalty and an absolute diamond header against Croatia, and he'll be playing Ghana tonight, hopefully scoring once more. But I think with how England are set up to play, and they're playing through Harry Kane, not just to him, unlike past World Cups, then I truly believe this is the best Harry Kane we've seen in an England shirt. No matter how good he's been for us in the past, I think he is bringing out not just the best in himself, but he's bringing out the best in the players around him as well. And again, I might be slightly deluded, I might be slightly biased as well. However, England's running to the final, it's relatively easy compared to everybody else. I mean, as things stand, they're actually playing Portugal in the round of 32, but the chances are with Portugal playing Uzbekistan later tonight, then I don't think they're going to be in that position, that third place in Group G, just yet. But England are most likely going to be playing quite an easy team in round of 32. Then it's going to be Mexico. And then, as we discussed, it could be Norway, but it could also be Brazil, depending when Norway finish in the final. They've still got to play France in the last group stage. As an England fan, and a lot of my mates around me, we expect England, at the very least, to get to a semi-final. That would be what we see as a success. Anything less than that, if we get knocked out in the quarter-final, then that would be a disappointment, because that means and that shows that we haven't made progress since Southgate, and that's why we brought Thomas Tuchel in. But for me, I believe that we will make that difference, and I think the key in that difference will be unlocking Harry Kane and bringing the best out of him. He might not score as many goals as the other players I'm mentioning, even maybe like Erling Haaland, or maybe the other players I'm about to mention now, but I do think he's going to make just as big a difference as those players. But my second favourite, as things stand right now, to win the World Cup player of the tournament is Lionel Messi, and I can't believe I'm still talking about him. I remember in the last World Cup thinking I need to appreciate every moment I'm watching him, because I'm never going to see it again, especially with him going to America. And you see how good he's been in America, but at the same time you think you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. And then I had a few mates saying, oh, he's going to be just as good in this tournament. And what do you have it? He's been just as good in this tournament. Whether he'll carry on his form or not into the knockout stages, when he plays against a Portugal, or when he plays against an England, or when he plays against Brazil, whoever it might be, where the players he's playing against is that little bit better, we'll see. But nobody can take away from him so far. He is the leading assist maker in the World Cup ever. He's scored the most goals in the World Cup ever. He's played the most matches. He's won the last World Cup. He is the reigning champion of the world right now. And he scored 5 goals in the last 2 games. Do you know how many players have scored more than 5 goals in one single World Cup? Only 20 players in the history of the World Cup. And he's done that in 2 games. 2 games. That to me shows how good he is at this level still. And if he carries on this form and leads Argentina, even just to a final against France or Spain or whoever it might be, wow. And if Argentina win the World Cup, what's his odds of winning the Ballon d'Or? Because it's hard to argue against it at that point. I know it's the MLS he's been playing in, but it's not like he's been failing in the MLS. You couldn't ask for a player to do any better than what he's been doing in the MLS. He scores every bloody game, he assists every bloody game. And then he's showing it also for his nation. And when you watch Argentina, it's hard to imagine Argentina without Lionel Messi because everything Argentina does goes through Lionel Messi. But my number one favourite, the best player to win this World Cup player of the tournament, it is going to be Kylian Mbappe. I'm fairly certain. I've got France as my favourites to win the whole competition. But also, he's the type of player where I'm not a huge fan of him when he comes to Real Madrid or PSG, especially with his off-field antics. But in tournaments for France, he elevates his game so much. He's already scored 16 goals in the World Cup. Only Messi has scored more than him. There's no doubt in my mind that eventually, whether it's this tournament or the next tournament, Kylian Mbappe will overtake Lionel Messi in terms of World Cup goals. And there's no doubt in my mind we'll see Kylian Mbappe on the same level or near the same level as Pele when it comes to how we see the best World Cup player ever. I really do believe Kylian Mbappe will have that in him. And the match which I really can't wait for, and it's 8 p.m. in the UK, which is perfect for us, it'll be Norway versus France in the final group match coming this Friday. That's one match which nobody wants to miss out on. It's going to be not just an exciting game, it's going to be, in my opinion, one of the best games of the tournament. So if you can watch it, make sure you do watch it because it's going to be Haaland versus Mbappe, the modern day Ronaldo versus Messi. But two teams who look exciting every time they play football. Let me know who you think. Which player do you think is going to win the player of the tournament? Do you think it's Mbappe like me, or do you think it's going to be Messi who's going to keep on getting better and keep on showing his worth, scoring braces every match, scoring hat tricks, getting assists? Who do you think it's going to be? Or do you even think it's going to be one of the players I mentioned? But if you enjoyed this video and you want daily World Cup content, subscribe for more.